After a bit of a wet, windy night in the southwest of Western Australia last night, the showers are set to ease off today, but the respite won't be for long because tomorrow afternoon a stronger cold front will bring more wet, windy weather. Meanwhile, we'll see a few showers scattered along the coast of both Queensland and New South Wales, and this morning we've seen a fair few around Brisbane. This has been the picture a short while ago across southeast Queensland's capital city. A bit of a soggy start to Saturday, and you can see why. Look at all this cloud down in that southeastern corner, and certainly it was further inland before, so it is moving fairly rapidly down into that southeast. But this is where the rain has been in the last 4 hours. Fairly persistent but fairly light, and we have clocked up 4 or 5 millimetres in a fair few places. Most of the showers staying offshore further north. A look into that southeastern corner shows that the Lockyer Valley, also the border districts down near the Gold Coast and even up around Wide Bay Burnett have had some fairly persistent falls. Yesterday the highest falls were 80 millimetres at Heron Island. They've had a further 7 millimetres, as has Archerfield in the southwest of Brisbane, gained picking up 7 millimetres as well. So some healthy falls for places that mightn't have seen much in too long. The clouds are keeping the temperatures a little cool across the southeast, currently 17 degrees in Brisbane, meanwhile further north 23 in Mackay. And the forecast for the rest of today, most areas will stay mostly dry, but that high cloud in the southeast quarter will continue to bring a little light rain, and it will continue to contract down into the east. But this afternoon we might see an afternoon shower or thunderstorm in parts of the southern and central inland, as well as those few showers keeping on scattered along the coastline. Let's have a look at New South Wales next, and the thunderstorms are still firing offshore, and they're moving a little bit further north, but they started to peter out from the northeastern parts of the state. Let's have a look at where the cloud is too. Now you can see this line of storms quite violent offshore, basically parallel with the coastline, and also up towards that other area just off the northeast. That's a convergence zone. We've got fairly cool, dry air coming from the land, and we've got warm, moist air coming in towards it, and where that's meeting up, it's rising up and causing some thunderstorms. In the last day, Ulladulla has received 66 millimetres, where they had a bit of a downpour with the storm yesterday, and that brought hail, fairly widespread flash flooding, and brought down some roofs as well. So a bit of a violent thunderstorm yesterday afternoon. This is the most recent picture of the rain across the far northeast of the state. Most of those storms are petering out offshore, as we can see. Current temperatures of 18 degrees in Sydney, 17 at the moment in Canberra, after a bit of a chilly start along the ranges. For the rest of today, looking at dry and sunny conditions on and west of the ranges, we will see some isolated showers along the coast and the eastern sides of the Great Dividing Range. They are staying offshore at the moment, and they're likely to be a little bit more prevalent this afternoon in either the southeast or the northeast. We might even see a storm in the northeast later. Low cloud across parts of Victoria this morning, but very little in the gauges in the last day. There is a high pressure system overhead that's going to keep things fairly dry. It's currently 13 degrees in Melbourne. You're expecting a top today of 16 degrees, just the chance of some drizzle around the coastline, otherwise dry in light winds, though partly cloudy. Very similar story for Tasmania. A cold change is dipping to the south of your state. You may see a couple of drops of rain across the south and the west. In fact, we have seen around 1 millimetre at Natsika Island and Strawn this morning. At the moment, the temperature is 13 degrees in Hobart after quite a chilly start, and the rest of today will be mostly dry. Just a few isolated showers for the west and the far south, increasing this afternoon and spreading to the southeast by tonight, otherwise dry. For South Australians, cloud is moving into the western parts of your state, bringing with it a little light patchy rain, possibly even an isolated thunderstorm there this afternoon. But in the east, it will stay mostly sunny after a chilly start. Currently Adelaide is sitting on 18 degrees. Will be fairly warm in the west too in northerly winds. 28 the forecast for Ceduna, sunshine, and 21 for Adelaide. For Western Australia, and you did see that cold front move through yesterday, bringing some fairly persistent patchy rain to the southwestern corner. We've also got some cloud bands further east, and that's brought a little light patchy rain over the last couple of hours as well. You can see it just moving further east and around the border area with South Australia as well. And those showers are set to ease off this morning through parts of the southwest in particular as the low weakens and tracks further away. These are the rainfall totals since 9 yesterday morning, over 30 millimetres, the highest totals we've seen. And Perth is rapidly warming up, almost 21 degrees now. Expecting a top today of 23, so it'll be interesting to see whether you edge up beyond that or not. And those showers clearing, starting to contract further east, and a thunderstorm possible this afternoon in the southeast of the state. Otherwise pretty dry through the interior and the north. Then for the Northern Territory, there's cloud across the southwestern corner. Just the slightest little couple of showers showing up through that region. Not much in that at the moment. Currently 20 degrees in Alice Springs and 10 degrees more than that in Darwin. Darwin heading for 33 in dry conditions. 27 for Alice Springs, 29, and a thunderstorm is a possibility in Uluru. That's what's happening at the moment across each of our states. Next, your Toyota local weather.